Okay, folks. I think I figured it out. I actually, apparently I have been messing with buttons that I should not be messing buttons with, so I do apologize for the weird shit that is going on currently with all of this. But appreciate you guys hanging with me. So if it matters, if you care whatsoever, something just reset itself. I did it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did something and it reset the quality of the camera. So it went down. It took it from 4K to 1080p. And quite frankly, it looked like ass. So I'm hoping this has fixed it. I really do. And even so much the fact that last night a similar thing happened was it didn't show the video on Rumble again. So this is where again the technology's kicking my ass on day number 38. If you can believe it or not. Day 38. 38 days straight of live action with the most beautiful, amazing person on the planet. Me. I think so anyway, and at least my mother does too. Yeah, I went there. Anywho, I'm going to shut up on that because interesting. I have to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it, but we have to talk about those stupid ass fucking Olympics that are going on right now. Specifically, a douche bag, and I am not going to shy away from that because he is a douchebag. Hunter Hess, I guess, this complete and absolute nobody that is somehow in the Olympics right now representing, I put parentheses, representing the United States, basically decided to say some pretty dumb fucking shit. And it does. It pisses off people like me because I'm not. If you're words, if you're familiar with this channel, I don't do the privilege crap. I don't really like. I don't believe in it. I think it's just a made up agenda item from politics, ideologies, so on and so forth. And again, broken record. It's spotofnerd is what we do. I am not going to shy away from that fact. But if you want to talk about privilege, this motherfucker right here has got an extreme level of privilege that blows my fucking mind. And we're going to talk about it. But we're also going to talk about, interestingly enough, when I got out of work today, I decided to go have a little walk around the real world. Man, have things changed. And I'm going to give you guys my experience, shall we say, because also nothing has changed. And I mean that in relation to some of the ladies that I came across. Because let's be quite frank, there was a lot of ass cheek back in my day when we would go out on the town, do our thing, blah, 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 blah. Now you can borderline see their. So, yeah, I am in shock. And I thought the femblablism, I'm going to mix up my words tonight so you can't, I'm pretty sure you can put two and two together, but ultimately, I got to be careful. Paycheck and all, blah, 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 blah. I do feel pretty good with this channel right now as far as getting a little bit more bold, and I'm pretty confident it's going to come bite me in the ass later on. But ultimately, I'm sick and tired of shying away from this, tiptoeing around it, because it is important. And I do mean that from my own perspective, from a world perspective, from a societal perspective, a lot of the topics that we discuss. I really do think it's important. But I think it's more important that we don't shy away from it and that we speak truth and we speak what's in our hearts. And albeit I'm going to be as respectful and reasonable as I possibly can, I also am not going to shy away from the reality in which what's going on right now, whether it's the Olympics, whether it's the Super Bowl tomorrow, whether it's the world, blah, 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 blah. And that's going to lead us directly into douchebag of the day or week or whatever it is, because the Olympics, if you're not familiar, are currently happening right now. The Winter Olympics in Italy, I think it is. Don't know. Don't really care. Albeit I did watch a little bit of curling last night. I am not going to kid you guys. But ultimately, again, there is this individual by the name of Hunter Hess who decided to have a few comments around the United States because, of course, we have to make everything about politics. And I'm going to share with you what he said, or at least the news conference, and that way I will let you guys kind of decide for yourself. So here we go.
Right now, I think it brings up mixed emotions to represent the U.S. right now. I think it's a little hard. There's obviously a lot going on that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think a lot of people aren't. If it aligns with my moral values, I feel like I'm representing it. Just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the U.S. So yeah, I just kind of want to do it for my friends and my family and the people that support me getting here. It brings up mixed
You,
emotions.
sir, are a D-bag. And I'll let you include whatever D-bag phrase. I like douche. You can basically put your own version in there because this is just yet another example of so many different things accumulated into one. Number one, these people have clearly not learned a damn thing. If you go online right now, and this is where I actually appreciate the world and is actually showing proof of just how much healing that we actually are going through right now. This mother effer is getting blasted online in relation to, if you don't like it, aka America, pull your jacket off. Take your fucking jacket off, the one with the American flag on it. Get the fuck out. And yeah, I will say that out loud, and I will say it honestly and truthfully. You are a privileged asshat who was given everything to you, from sponsors to money to blah 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 blah. Oh, yeah, the US not so good right now. So basically you're talking every single talking point that ever exists in the last 10 years, all in the name of Trump and America, racism this and racism that and bigotry this and blah 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 blah. ICE is bad. You are an absolute D-bag. And he knows it because, number one, the world is completely destroying this guy. And I mean it in from those men and women who sacrificed themselves, their lives during the world wars, during today, even today, where they're literally sacrificing their lives and their family so that you, Mr. Hunter, can go to the Olympics, get your gold medal, pretend like you give 2 ounces of fucks about it, and go about your day living the rest of your life. Shut your fucking mouth. Obviously, I'm one of about 1,000 million people who are saying the exact same thing. I just wanted to add my 2 cents because, like I said, broken record, spot of nerd is what we do. I didn't want to talk about the Olympics, but these fuckers have to make us. Because again, you might think to yourself, well, why not just let it go? Why does it matter so much? It matters because these people are given a stage. They're given an opportunity to speak this bullshit that sadly a lot of people agree with. But here's the best part, the majority don't. So much, in fact, I wanted to show you guys actually some really great news that I looked up. And I'm not saying this is a great news from the fact that somebody was killed because of their own doing of things during riots, but the gentleman, we'll just say ICE alleged person, who was in the similar area around Renee Good, is officially now a millionaire. So let me show you this post, and I did verify this. I looked it up online, multiple sources. You can check it out. But here is some great news. That gentleman is now, through online fundraisers, a millionaire. And you know what? He deserves it. He absolutely deserves every penny. I hope he uses it wisely. I hope he does something fantastic in relation to clearing his debt, whatever it is. The man was dragged from a vehicle not 6 months ago or whatever that time frame was. And now he was almost killed by Renee Good when she basically used her SUV to try to run him over. So there's good news. There's light at the end of the tunnel because, again, We are done with Trump's second term. We are done with the bullshit. Done with it. We're done with the wokeness. We're done with the talking points. We are done with the stupidity when there clearly doesn't need to be any. Wake the fuck up, shut your mouth, and if you don't like the US, go away. It's that fucking simple. Because here's the thing, when you do walk away, you're going to drop everything else. Your sponsors are gone, your money's gone, you're going to have to get a job. Good luck in Europe. You think our job economy's bad? Good luck. It just pisses me off and it infuriates me, words that I can't say right now, when you have D-bags like this who think they are so much better than you. When they're given a stage, specifically on the world, they basically say, I remember Anthony Jeselnik, comedian, amazing comedian, always used to tell people, thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers, when something horrible would happen. And basically what that means is, especially on a social media platform, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me too. And again, just to be clear, you could probably say the same thing about this channel, the stuff that we do on here. I just simply say more of us need to speak out. I mean, that is a broken record I will say forever. More of us need to start speaking out against this, and I am glad that we are. So much, in fact, which I think I mentioned, or if I didn't, but I'm going to repeat it anyway. He actually had to turn off a lot of his comments and a lot of his messaging through his social media because of the sheer amount of brutality. And yeah, I'm going to say brutality this man's getting. He's not being violently attacked or hurt or whatever, but he is being destroyed from the people that are reminding him that everything he has been given is because of this country, is because of how free he is, and because of what he is deserving in relation to being a human in the American system, the American society, whatever you want to call it. So Hunter can do things that involve certain websites that you shouldn't allow your children, where the guy sits in the corner while his wife and the best friend have some fun together. You can put two and two together with that. I'll just leave it there. So, and then last but not least, I'm going to seriously try to keep this as short as I can. As I mentioned earlier in the beginning intro before we went here, I decided to go for a little walk today in the real world after my employment, shall we say. Was not representing anything related to work, just simply was like, you know what? I'm going to go see what the real world's all about. Now, the area in which I do work is a little bit more high end, a little bit more fancy, expensive. The way I look at it, if you can't pronounce the stores, odds are you probably can't afford the shit that's in those stores. And it's pretty much the reality of it. So I decided to go for a walk. And of course, there's a lot of clubs around the area. There's a lot of restaurants, gaming places, bowling alleys, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of these places are actually pretty cool. I'd actually go if some friends wanted to go, blah, 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 blah. I was reminded very quickly why I don't do that anymore, or at least very rarely. And I understand now why people don't either, because number one, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy. But I really want to hone in on, and gonna have to be careful here, like I said, nothing has changed, but everything has changed. And what I mean by that is, I would, and I'm not exaggerating, I would say probably 90%, if not more, 95% of every single person I saw was stuck to their fucking device. I was going to try and be like, oh, look at me, metaphor, but it's somewhere. Every single one was stuck to their phone. And the saddest part about it is, I'd say half of the people I ran into, or at least walked near, they're couples. They're young couples, they're middle-aged couples, they're old couples. They're sitting at a table, maybe eating some food, blah, 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 blah. Every single one is stuck in their phone, just looking dead in their phone, not acknowledging the other person. You can set, I mean, some of these people are getting decked out, they're looking nice and blah, 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 and not a single person is talking to each other. Every single one is just looking at their goddamn phone. How sad is that? How depressing is that? And I say this from a perspective of like, let's be very clear. There's some beautiful women that I'm seeing that are clearly out on dates with these guys. And they could give two shits whether there was a fire right behind them. So speaking of the ladies out there, and I want to be very again, careful and clear, something that has not clearly changed since my time when I used to do shit like that, where we would go to the clubs and we'd go out and we'd do the movies and the game rooms and blah, 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 blah. The majority of them had their asses hanging out. Now, here's the thing, right? Back in my day, and I'm saying my day because I would classify myself as old, you know, sure, you'd have ass cheeks out, and they're obviously scandalously clothed, blah 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 blah. And you know what? To each his or her own. That's their course. Here's the thing, though. Every single one is pulling their dress down. Their little dress that's right up here because God forbid they actually wore something that had some class. And yes, I'm going to say this out loud. Have you guys ever had hemorrhoids before? I'm just saying, allegedly, maybe I've had hemorrhoids. When they start to heal, you get kind of an itch. That is what all of these women looked like. Because every single one is basically like, oh crap, my hooch is about to pop out. I better pull this shit down. That's the only thing I could think of watching every single one of these ladies panicking because Mr. Safari, Mr. Rhymes with Hamel, and then there's also Toe, shall we say, like TOW, not the other one. They're so worried about that coming out and exposing to the world, they forget that their whole ass is out. And I'm just simply, every single one is just pulling it down as if you've got an itch from your hemorrhoids healing. It is insane to me that absolutely nothing in that regard has changed. Because it led me to the cliche stuff, and my final thought of the night. It led me to the usual debate of that certain ism, the fleblism. I'm sure you can put two and two together. What happened to self-respect? I'm not saying all the ladies were like that, but I can promise you the ones that were, age range anywhere from 18 to 55. The actual fuck, ladies. The actual fuck. And you wonder why those studies are showing that men are bowing out of relationships, men are moving to peace and quiet and singlehood and everything in between. Because you can clearly tell these individuals are not growing up. They don't have some self-respect to basically go, maybe I shouldn't have my ass hanging out when not only is it about 40 degrees out, but I shouldn't have my ass hanging out. Am I the only one here? Am I wrong here? Tell me. Give me the likes, the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you can, if you haven't already. Take the pity out. I'd love you so much if you can. What happened? Rhetorical. I know exactly what happened. But why hasn't it changed? Why hasn't it changed when we're surrounded in a culture of social media where OnlyFans are the new norm and blah, 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 blah. But yet, what happened to class? Class. Like I said, to each his or her own. This is just my opinion. I'm just giving you my 2 cents. But holy shit, was I reminded in a matter of 30 minutes, no thank you. No thank you. I'll take my streaming TV. I'll take my home playing with my toys, building my Legos. Give me that any day over going back to that shit. So I just wanted to give you guys my 2 cents. Sure, call this a rant, call this event, whatever it is. I'm just simply pointing out the fact that ladies might want to fix that shit. Especially, you've given us everything we need to know. Let's just say that. Am I wrong? Seriously, don't think so. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it if you made it this far, of course. Thank you for listening if you're listening on the podcasts. Tomorrow is the Super Bowl. Nobody really gives a shit. It's kind of scary here. And I'm in Seattle, so it's very unique that not many people are giving a shit. But I don't really give a shit either. Anyway, we'll maybe talk about it. We'll see. Maybe it'll just be a video game day. I don't know. Until then, though, I super appreciate everybody for watching, listening, and we will see you guys day 39 tomorrow. Laters, y'all.